Welcome back. Gabriel has completed the initiation for Schattenjäger, and after a rather disturbing dream, got the key to this library. Although I'm pretty certain that actually Gerda just gave us that. The dream was kind of interesting though. One particular thing that I find peculiar there is that it said 3 women had loved Gabriel purely, by which I would guess his mother, his grandmother. But who's the third? Grace? Madame Kazunu? Unlikely. I think it's probably Malia. It's the only one I can think of anyway. Anyway, now that we have managed to get into this library, we can hopefully trace the same steps of research that Wolfgang did and find out what Wolfgang learned and where he might have gone. But that does mean that we are going to do some reading. And unlike in The Longest Journey, there's no librarian to help
These
us.
shelves contain history books. Gabriel peruses the titles with interest, but nothing jumps out at him.
And just because it says that now doesn't mean that there won't be an interesting book on that shelf after we've read something else, just to confuse you, I guess.
These shelves contain books and documents about the Ritter family. Journals, diaries, record books, deeds. Something to peruse extensively when Gabriel has more time.
But nothing for now, I guess.
Although it probably won't shed any light on Wolfgang's whereabouts, Gabriel picks up a book from the Ritter section. The book is entitled Malleus Maleficarum, The Witch Hammer, dated 1486. It's a witch hunter's manual from the Inquisition.
I'm not sure I'm really interested in knowing about some of my ancestors.
He doesn't read it, he just looked at the title. Alright, let's look at something else that's perhaps more interesting.
These shelves contain books and journals.
There's more
These
bookshelves.
shelves contain books on religions of all kinds. Gabriel peruses the titles with interest, but nothing jumps out at him. These shelves contain science books. Gabriel looks at the titles curiously, but they're all a bit too technical for his taste.
I think Science for Dummies would be too technical for Gabriel's tastes.
This part of the library contains books on the occult, necromancy, witchcraft, demonology, lycanthropes. Research material any good Schattenjäger needs, Gabriel supposes.
Anything of interest there?
Although it probably isn't connected with the case at hand, Gabriel picks up an occult book. It's a book on lycanthropes, shape-shifters. The book claims that lycanthropy is not uncommon. Supposedly, there's been evidence of apparently normal human beings turning into various beasts throughout history, including some famous trials from the Middle Ages. Fascinating. Gabriel's made a few women turn into beasts himself.
I'm fairly sure that's not what the book meant.
These shelves display books on geography. A title catches Gabriel's eye. People's Republic of Benin by Lowell Cali.
Alright, let's check that out then. Maybe we can learn something about Benin.
Gabriel pulls out the book entitled People's Republic of Benin and scans through it. The People's Republic of Benin is an area of rich and diverse cultures and a proud heritage. Before slaving devastated many tribes, this area was populated by some of the oddest, fiercest, and most powerful tribes in tribal Africa: the Fans, the Dahomies, and the terrible Agris. The book, The Primal One, by John Roots, provides insight into these fascinating cultures.
So, now we've read that book, and Gabriel amazingly managed to find the passage of interest immediately. And it has pointed us to another book, so now we have to locate that book in the library and read that. And this is going to happen a couple of times until we know what we need.
There are books on sociology in this part of the library. Gabriel recognizes a title, The Primal One, by John Root.
Well, that's convenient that I was checking the shelves in this order. I'd forgotten where the books are, so I did not do that on purpose.
Gabriel takes down The Primal Ones and opens it. In contrast with the peaceful nomadic tribes of northern Africa, certain tribes of the southwest were vicious and xenophobic. This part of Africa is called the Red Basin area because of the vast amount of bloodshed that's occurred there over the centuries.
Nice.
In this one area of Africa existed in a perpetual state of war and raiding some of the most powerful and efficient fighters the world has ever seen. Why did this region inspire such violent behavior? To understand, one must look even further back. See Ancient Roots of Africa by Early Days.
Early days? Really? Come on, Sierra. I know you're fond of terrible puns, but that one was really bad.
These shelves contains books on archaeology. Gabriel peruses the titles with interest, but nothing jumps out at him.
Well, that book on the history of Africa probably is among the history books up here.
These shelves contain history books. Gabriel recognizes a title, Ancient Roots of Africa by Early Days.
So let's read that. Too bad Wolfgang didn't take any notes of his research. Would have saved us some time.
Gabriel removes Ancient Roots of Africa and browses through it. The ferocity of the tribes in the Red Basin region is traceable to their predecessors. In Egyptian time, 4000 to 2000 BC, this region was ruled by powerful sun worshippers. We know a little about this mysterious cult by the remnants of ruins far older and of a culture far more advanced than any that exists in Africa today. See Sun Worshippers by A. Curate.
Accurate? Are all of the author names here puns? I guess that book will be among the religion books. It's kind of like the old-fashioned version of a wiki walk, this.
These shelves contain books on religions of all kinds. A title catches Gabriel's eye. Sun Worshippers by A. Curate.
Yep.
Gabriel takes down Sun Worshippers and scans it. One of the earliest religious practices was that of sun worship. The most powerful cults of sun worshippers lived on the continent of Africa. The African sun god was violent and terrible, and so became his worshippers. They practiced a particularly bloody form of ritual sacrifice. The homeland of this ancient cult is still considered a sacred site of power. See Ancient Digs of Africa by Professor Seymour Shards.
Well, at least it's better than Seymour Butts. That sounds like an archaeology title.
These shelves contains books on archaeology. Gabriel recognizes the title, Ancient Digs of Africa by Professor Seymour Shards. Gabriel takes Ancient Digs of Africa and opens it. The most fascinating archaeological site in Africa is the Great Snake Mound in the People's Republic of Benin, located 50 miles south of the capital in the Red Basin. Like the snake mounds of North America, the origin and meaning of these great mounds remains a mystery, though clearly they were the results of profound and urgent spiritual belief. Unlike other snake mounds, the African example is a double snake mound, a small snake ring within a larger snake ring. The mound is thought to have housed an ancient temple. Although archaeologists have explored the mound site, the interior remains largely unchanged from ancient times. This is partially due to stringent government regulations and partially to local superstitions. The local people regard the mound with fear and will not go near it.
A double snake ring?
Gabriel flips furiously looking for a picture.
Oh my God! It's a wheel within a wheel!
Gabriel decides to hang on to the Snake Mound book.
That sounds like it may be where Wolfgang went, as it is a fairly strong lead on the Agritte tribe, and therefore on Tetelo. Idiot just marched off there by himself instead of telling us. We could have come with him. Now that we have found that out, I think we should probably go after him and try to save him or whatever. At the very least, we should inform Gertie of our discovery, since she would doubtlessly like to know where Wolfgang went. However, we will have to tell her in the next video.